Welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. I hope you're well. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to whenever you're watching this video. It's an emergency stream. Emergency stream. Because we need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk. We need to talk. And I was umming and ahhing whether this was the right time. I was umming and ahhing whether this was the time to do it. But we need to talk. And it comes poetically after Aston Villa have just beaten Manchester City 1-0. 1-0 in the Premier League and extending our impressive return to Premier League form, I must say. It's absolutely wonderful. It's absolutely incredible to see Aston Villa now looking like they're a team who can put momentum together, who are putting wins together, who are charging up the table. And that's what I want to see. But the reason why this is an emergency stream is because I got it wrong. I got it really wrong. And the reason why I probably have got it really wrong is I've thrashed in and doubted the wrong person. And that's probably the annoying thing. I still look back at some of the videos that I've done and some of the streams I've done and back some of the points I've made. I still think I still think that, you know, people like Donyell Marlin are not getting the game time that he deserves. Still think there are some interesting discrepancies amongst Aston Villa and the players, but I'm wrong because I questioned Unai Emery. And I questioned the man who basically, for me, has questioned himself. And that's the one thing I will say about Unai Emery is he has actually taken full responsibility. And I'm going to show you some of his quotes after the game today. Unai Emery has talked about the fact that this Aston Villa team did not start the season well, that they were way off it, that they were lacking confidence and quality. But he's the man who steadied the ship. And really, I think the players got away with my cussings, and it ended up landing on Unai Emery. So I got it wrong. I cussed out Unai Emery when I should have really looked at the players a little bit more. And I stand by this, like I did in my Go Ahead Eagles reaction. For Aston Villa to win a trophy this season, aka the Europa League, it's going to come down to the mindset and mentality of those Villa players. I actually think when we really deep it, Unai Emery knows how to set up a tactical masterclass. He knows how to set up a team that is going to produce results, and he knows how to get the best out of individuals. And we can talk about some of the development. Matty Cash, Luca Dean. I even think Ezri Konsa's gone up another gear with Pau Torres. You look at the development of Kamara. You look at the development, even to an extent point, of the likes of Emi Buendia now, who's carrying himself in an Aston Villa shirt in 2025. He's development. So I think, first and foremost, and big up to all the chat, I will come to comments. Make sure you're smashing that like button as well for me. I will come to the fact that I think that the players sulked at the start of the season. I think the players sulked at the start of the season. The players threw a hissy fit. The players threw a tantrum. The players got a bit too vocal. Your Tyrone Mingses, your John McGinns about Jacob Ramsey. And whether we like it or not, maybe, you know, on the reflective side of things is, yeah, they're human. They would have felt the impact of PSR. They would have felt the impact of maybe losing someone like Jacob Ramsey, boyhood fan, didn't want to go, blah, blah, blah. However, my argument was they're getting paid to play. They need to shut their mouths and get on with the job. That's the brutal analysis and thoughts of it. But bottom line is, Unai has and will be the man who has re-steadied this ship. And I think that we have to be real here. He's actually come out, and I will show you. He's actually come out and said Villa were crap at the start of the season. They underperformed. Confidence was low. Things weren't looking good. And that's where we all said, and that's maybe the fact that I, as a podcaster, a person, I came out with my chest baring, with my chest brunting, go, this is not good enough. What are Villa doing? This is crap. And I needed to let off anger at it, and I fired it on Unai. I think what Unai is saying is that, and the thing that probably annoyed me is where people saying it's all okay at the start of the season, it's all okay, it's fine, and there was still a lot of people with claret and blue tinted glasses. At the start of the season, no one could say that was okay. But I just went probably a little bit too critical, a little bit too harsh on that. But there we go. And I think that what I am saying is I was so wrong about the person to blame. The person to blame for me at the start of the season, now the more I look at it, the more I've sat back, I've looked at that, I've looked at Spurs, I've looked at Man City, and I said the person to blame has got to be the players. The players sulked, the players head in their shell. And there was a worry. Was Unai going to actually snap these prima donnas out of it? And that's where I know now that Aston Villa and this squad will be right. And I'm going to come to the chat, by the way. Big up to everyone. But I've just seen this last comment. Never been happier to be wrong. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. My worry was, hand on heart, I felt there was a massive split in the dressing room. I felt that Unai Emery was having to try and galvanise and rejuvenate these players to go again after a really shit window, after a lot of moaning and groaning, after a lot of crap. So I don't know why I thought it was Unai's fault. I'm sort of saying he was the man who was leading the ship, basically. So I put blame on him, but I actually now look at it and go, do you know what? I'm sorry. So I got it wrong about crashing on Unai. And he's shown us. And I said this in my match reaction, and big up to everyone. I said this in my match reaction. If Villa go and beat Liverpool at Anfield, this is without a doubt, for me, the best spell or tenure in Unai Emery's Aston Villa career. Because to go and take 9 points out of Spurs, City, and Liverpool at a time when we were sitting just above the relegation zone, hadn't been the best start of the season. Yes, we beat Burnley and Fulham at home. And I'll be honest, that's why I've never come on and said I was wrong about Unai Emery. That's why I've never come on and said we're back. Because in my opinion, beating Burnley and Fulham in the way which you did is bog standard tick practice. And you could go, yeah, but the Premier League's not that easy anymore. The Premier League's not as simple as that. I agree. But what I would say is that the Premier League has shown me that really at home you have to go win those type of games if you're serious. So believe it or not, I was going to judge us in this period. And I'll be honest, if we took losses again, and you could say this is how thick you are, but if we took losses against Spurs, City, and Liverpool, if we came out with 0 out of 9 points, this is how funny football would have been. I'd have turned around and said, we're in a little bit of shit here. And then it would have been another full brutal analysis of where are we pointing fingers at. But the fact that my manager has come out and said, we've been crap, we were crap, we will get better, confidence needs to grow, this team is good enough, and then gone and backed it up with results, that's my mind. And it's all well and good managers coming out and telling us things will get better, that things will turn around, that confidence is a bit low. And then if it doesn't follow up with the results, then you go, well, you're just talking crap. But my manager's actually put his chest out for those players. My manager has actually turned around and backed his players. Yes, he's done a few little things here and there, public shamings of Harvey Elliott, and we'll go on to that one a bit, but he's managed the situation and he's put his neck on the line for the players. And maybe the players have respected that. Maybe the players have looked and gone, look, the gaffer's taking all the stick here. He's saying it's on him. Things are they need to adapt. So there we go. So yeah, I'd love to know how everyone feels about Unai Emery. And be honest, were you an Unai Emery doubter? You may not have been the levels that I were, but did you crash it in on Unai at the start? And do you now feel that changed? Because there's some people who've already put it in the chat, and I respect that. But big up to everyone in the chat. Retros have played very well. Big up to Ben. What a performance today. Absolutely. Good evening. You were very, very wrong. 4 games in, people are shouting Unai out online. Look, I didn't get sucked in as quite, but yeah, I was close, Roy. I was close. Big up to Stephen. Great team win today. Absolutely. Meeks, is my stepdog okay after you tapped by a teacup? Don't. Not only that, teacup broke as well as my laptop. Yeah, for anyone who's wondering what this comment is about, I was on YouTube. I was doing my stream downstairs because Heidi was asleep. She'd done night shift and I didn't want to wake her up. And basically, had my laptop set up, done the stream on YouTube to basically get ready to go over to Big Up. The dog was just come by my feet and she was wondering what's going on. I had a cup of tea right next on top of the laptop. Maybe that was my fault. I positioned the cup of tea wrong. But I had the cup of tea right next to the laptop. As I ended the stream, and I went to get up to go into the kitchen quickly to grab something, the dog jumps up onto my sofa and smashes the cup over onto the laptop, onto the keyboard, and poof, just like that. And because Big Up now doesn't allow you to stream on the app, you can only do it on a PC, I was cooked. And instead of rushing around and trying to sort that out and losing my head, I thought, I'm just going to leave it. We'll try and get the laptop fixed, and we'll go from there. But obviously, my daughter's got a MacBook, so the MacBook is in play. I'm not very good on MacBooks, that's why I'm not touching too much. But I'm not very good on MacBooks. So who knows the result of that? But Puff's in the doghouse, literally. So yeah, big up to Meeks. But I can't tell her off because she's cute. It's my fault. I shouldn't have left the cup of tea right next to the laptop. It was a nice mug as well. So yeah, there we go. No sympathy really. So yeah, I again, I missed a really good watch along there. But yeah, thank you to everyone who did stick around and was looking for me. But Puff, damn. Emery is elite and I shall never judge again. Correct. He's all right, but he's our number 2. Big up to Super Mario. I reckon he loved it today. All the calls for cash to be sold all summer long. Unreal, in my opinion, solid Prem player. Always has been. No moan, no first gives. So glad he's getting a new contract, 100% deserved. Yeah, I'll be one of them again. And that's another one. I got it so wrong. Cash has been probably our best player this season. Hate to say it. Like, makes me cringe to say it, but I think Cash has been our best player. And the reason why I hate to say it is because, again, another player I've been really hard on. What I like about Cash this season, and I want to know people's thoughts, I feel like, even though he's chipped in with some goals and assists, I actually feel like Cash is focused on more on what he should be doing, which is being defensively solid. I actually think Matty Cash has done what I wanted him to do. I mean, how good was he today, one-on-one against the wingers? Even at Spurs last week, he did not switch off of that back post and crosses. What I feel like has changed is Matty Cash doesn't have these lackadaisical moments that he showed at the back end of last season into the start of this season. Let's not forget, he got Ezri Konsa, that red card against Newcastle, whoever you want to blame it on. I looked at Cash, maybe that was gender-driven, but agenda-driven, not gender-driven. But that for me is something I think Cash has had to focus on more. Stop the individual crap, stop the individual mistakes, and he'll be all right. And he was. So yeah. Concert, if he does, you'll find a big Norwegian in there with defensive giants there. Unai was let down by the French players on Thursday. Facts. And one of them, definitely for me, again, conversation awkwardly is about Tyrone Mings, isn't it? Concert should be in for England's first centre back 100%. The only said we can't go as a slightly faster Craig Burley. There we go. Unai does what he wants, picks what he wants. Correct. Big up to 1874. You're too fickle. Quick to jump on a man. We all know there was unrest, but Unai has now steady shit. He's brilliant. The thing is, I've jumped on to say I'm wrong as well, and you won't get many people doing that. I'm happy to stick my neck out on the line. I'm passionate as anyone in this chat, and that's what we want as a Villa fan base. Personally, things weren't right. And what I wasn't happy with was where I probably would learn from this is I'm still going to call it real. Villa's start of the season was crap. Villa's start of the season was below the standard. Villa's start of the season was nothing to shout about. And someone has to take accountability. Someone has to go, that's your fault. Now, people blamed a bit of PSR. People blamed Unai Emery. Some people blamed the players. Some people didn't want to blame anyone. For me, I was torn, as I said, between the manager and the players. I was really torn of who do I think this is. And I went on crashing on Unai because I felt he's the one who leads the side. He's the one who, has to get a grip of these changing room dynamics, the Emi Martinez situation, Harvey Elliott, the fact that, Rodgers and Watkins looked a bit out of shape and still Watkins does. But I sort of said, well, that's Unai's job to manage it. What I do think he's done has managed it. I think he has squished all that doubt. I think the players, again, I'll go back to it, had a crisis in confidence at the start of the season. And they are bottle jobs at times. For me today, it was all about how Unai Emery set up against Man City. It's about the heart this players showed, and they did the basics of defending so well. If you defend properly, you're going to get those type of results today. But what probably is important for me to note, and probably for me to say, is that this team still has something that will always leave Aston Villa fans cautious, and that is in these cups, especially this Europa League. Has this team got the mindset and the balls to get the job done on the pitch? Because Unai Emery now has. Unai Emery has the balls to do this. It's down to the players and translating it to the players. Unai Emery can't comprehend or fix Watkins, Buendia and Gesson missing one-on-ones like they did against Go Ahead Eagles. That's not down to Unai Emery. Unai Emery can't fix a lax in concentration from Tyrone Mings or Pau Torres or Ian Matson. That isn't on Unai Emery. Unai Emery has to set up the system, the structure, the shape, and choose the right personnel. And for me, Spurs away, City at home, he's absolutely nailed that. And to go and crowd out that middle of the pitch, to have that middle of the pitch so congested to stop City playing through it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I still think we need an elite striker attacker. People are taking pressure off Watkins. He's integral to our game plan, is facts. I think that's where January, and I think everyone can agree, the must and most important position that we must be recruiting him, it's got to be that number 9 role. Has to be. We have to have another focal point, have to have something different. And I don't think Donyell Marlin is the answer. I think Marlin, for me, is still a right winger, a left winger, even a number 10. I don't think Marlin wants to be the 9. I love this from 85. So I have to admit, I worried for Emery, and even though I knew we will not get a better manager than him, I thought his time was up. Yeah, and look, this is why it's class. When you can say this out loud, you're a reflective person. For anyone to be blue in the face and go, I never questioned Emery, I never had a doubt. And if you did, you're lying to yourself. Big up Villa Boys, big up Messenger, big up Rich as well. It's not anger, Sir Josh. You just love your club. Fans speak from the heart, right or wrong. Love and passion. That's what you need to support a fan. Big up Super Matty. I appreciate that. Just thought, do you think Elliot is a monster buy? Yeah, I'll come on to Elliot. I'm going to start that comment. Just coming through a few more. We watched proper football today. I hope Buendia's okay. Yeah, I don't think Buendia's thing is good. He did hobble off not very well, and I think he left in a boot. I think he left in a boot, a medical boot. That is not like the back of someone's car being kidnapped. But yeah, Emi Buendia, another one I've got to say sorry to. I'm just going to try and catch up with the chat, but I'll come to Emi Buendia in a second. We were on fire, absolutely. I think you can't count out having a solid goalkeeper and goal. When Martin stayed, yeah, I think Emi enjoyed his time today as well. And am I confident about Liverpool? Look, this again is a great question. People will now tell us that we should be favourites to beat Liverpool at Anfield because Liverpool have lost their last 4. People will turn around and go, yeah, but Liverpool are you should be favourites to beat Liverpool. Let's be real here. It's at Anfield. It's not a great history of us going to Anfield and getting points. Second of all, this Liverpool team have to inevitably bounce back from 4 losses, right? This Liverpool team are due a big one. We've just gone and beaten Spurs and City, and all of a sudden, I think people are going to go, well, you're favourites. Let's be real here. I'm expecting a resurgence from Liverpool. I'm expecting a Liverpool team to come out with a fight. But if we can take a point, that's incredible. At the end of the day, for me, we've already overachieved what I projected. Spurs, City, Liverpool. I said I'll be happy with 4 points. We've already got 6. So for me, we've already overachieved what I feel like we can in those fixtures when I looked at them. So there we go. I was wrong about Tillemans, Petrov, Powell, Ashley Young. Even that's why we are fans. Exactly. Let the McGaffer do it. Exactly, Lee. Exactly. Told you, man. Wait until game at 10. See what happens. Crap. If you told me it'd be 3 points off second half and then games after we not score for the first one, I'd have to make your loony bin. What a turn! This is facts as well. Like 85's bringing the the truth. Is that to be honest, I'm glad that in a way. I think I would be wrong or I would be going a bit loopy if I didn't sit on camera after the first 4 games go. Anyone else not a bit worried? Anyone else not a bit worried? Like, this is a bit like alarm bells going. Hence the crunch talks. And look, crunch talks can be done in a good way, like this. This is like a crunch talk. So there we go. There we go. Nice to be absolutely big up you, Kev. Barry should have been left back, right? But you stood by Matty Cash. Ricky, I know. What else? I think he is. I think she is. I've put a Villa collar on and she still tries to rip it off. That was me, Lee. Any issues on Big Up, that was completely me. Because of my dog. So usually I'm the one. I have real problems with tech this season. But there we go. Heidi kept me calm. So that's my head. You can imagine off camera, head ceiling. That's why you need a good woman behind you, because she kept me calm. Every week we fought. Villa Park was rocking today as well. Got to admit, Villa Park was rocking today, which is what we're seeing. I consider my favourite area. Yeah, you did, Kev. To be fair. But yeah, we're on the old Ribena today. Big up to you, Rich, as well for seeing that. The joy in Unai's smile when Cassie scored was my feel-good moment I've seen so far. Unai loves it, doesn't it? Right, let's go on to Buendia. Let's go. Let's go to Emi Buendia because I think he needs a conversation again. I won't worry too much just because since the era of social media started, Civilization been on 2 times speed. Yeah, it's true. We all feel it. Trouble is, Rush, you're right to call out World Cup, but you still wasn't getting any real credit when we start winning evidence out there. No, and I think I've addressed that. You were never going to get me to go, we're back after beating Burnley and Fulham. That's where I stand my ground. You're never going to get those quotes from me. Never. Burnley and Fulham at home, no chance. No chance. I told you I was going to save my we are back moment, and we are back is definitely after beating Spurs and Man City in the space of a week. And I'll tell you now, when we beat Spurs, I was a bit like, okay, I see you, Unai. We're close. Let's see what we do against City. And today just blew me away because we defended like lions. Because there was heart, there was passion, there was almost what I'd say is almost like Unai was controlling the whole game over Pep. And Pep, the fact that Pep hates playing Aston Villa is unbelievable. There's too many breaks. It's truly Lee's actually spot on that. But there, we are back. Absolutely, exactly that, Rich. Exactly that. I'm on my laptop. It's who knows, but I'm on the old MacBook. But yeah, my older daughter, she's got a older Mac, so I said I wanted to do something. So we're running up, big up the MacBook, but I was never going to try and set it up during the game because it was too much stress. But yeah, let's pray. The annoying thing is as well, I've done the whole payment plan with it, so I can't get insurance on it. But that's my mistake. Maybe it's a call-in to go get a new laptop. Maybe that was a sign the dog was telling me. Because Heidi and I were talking about getting a new laptop. Old creation, finance, and curries. Heidi and I were talking about getting a new laptop after we went to B&Q the other day. Maybe it was a sign. Maybe the dog was actually trying to tell us something. Do you know what I mean? So there you go. Maybe she was trying to tell us something. I don't know. Good or big up to Black Country. Hope you're well. Right. Fraser said, Fraser, Liverpool fan, go easy on us next week. Wow. A draw at Anfield is unbelievable. Really. If we could get a draw at Anfield, then that would be unbelievable. Unbelievable. So Emi Buendia from Argentina. Quick chat on him. Another player I completely got wrong. I said you've got to be washed. I reckon there's a quote of me out there saying things are bad when Emi Buendia is starting for Aston Villa in 2025. Oh God, famous last words. I mean, where's my evidence with it? My evidence was that Unai Emery had Emi Buendia for the first half of last season and used him like twice. So I thought, right, you clearly don't rate Emi Buendia. He then sent him out on loan to Bayer Leverkusen. Emi Buendia plays for Bayer Leverkusen, doesn't get minutes, gets a bit, but a little bit. You come and then you think, okay, Bayer Leverkusen, option to buy. Oh, they're going to chuck money at Buendia and we cash in on him. No. Bayer Leverkusen didn't want Buendia. So I was like, oh, shit, he's been rejected. Like, imagine being on loan, doing fairly well for them with the rare minutes that you got, and then not getting a permanent bid. And I thought, well, Unai doesn't rate him. Bayer Leverkusen don't rate him. Why are we sticking with him? Oh, we had a good pre-season. Is that what we're going off? Well, bloody hell. Pre-season shows you nothing because Watkins was a goal machine in pre-season. Do never judge pre-season. That's what I've also learned. Watkins was a goal machine in pre-season. Now look at him. Buendia, I take my hat off to you. You're definitely Premier League quality. You're definitely someone who's going to give GA. And you're definitely someone who plays for the badge. And I love that we've got a player like that. You still need that. You still need that player who's going to run through brick walls. You still need those type of players. And yet he's got a bit of quality of him as well. Now, I'm not saying that Buendia should be a week in, week out. But what I like is that Unai, and this is where I've got to give credit to Unai Emery again. Unai Emery has, for me, shown how he's rotated the starting lineup really well in the Premier League. He's kept it fresh. I don't think Villa have ever gone back to back with the same starting lineup in the Premier League since we've won. 1 week it's Gesson and Buendia. The next week, he's changed it up again. And that's the beauty of it. He is changing and chopping in a nice way. Big up to Chappers. One of our own. She's one of our own. As is Collison. They're one of our own. Big up to the members clan. Big up to you too. Absolutely love it. But yeah, I hope everyone's good. Is that your stress relief? I might twist my beard. See, Heidi will bollock me with that. She does tell me off for stopping doing that. It's true. But yeah, you guys oh good. And it is a free hit. It is a free hit Liverpool away. I'm not gonna lie. It is a free hit. You got a brand new one for sale. Ooh. Yeah, what would the postage be? But it would be probably cost that much. Yeah, worth double. Yeah, I have got it in the airing cupboard, Roy. Airing cupboard, Roy, but I think a new one is imminent. His pen move week was bad. Yeah, it was. It's horrendous. So, Josh, you may look like Jesus Christ, but the real man is a clean-shaven bass with black slick hair. And big up to Unai. He is the savior and Lord. And yeah, also, God bless you and all that. But yeah, listen, big up the beard. And this is why the Premier League looks good this season, because Brentford and Bournemouth look fantastic. The Premier League's tight. I'm going to show you the league table in a second, but I just want to come to this message about this. Harvey Elliott, I think now, as many of us have said, it's crystal clear the Harvey Elliott situation, isn't it? The Harvey Elliott situation is crystal clear. It's a Monchi buy. We've got 10 games to use him. We'll use him where we can. And I just think that basically ride the wave with Harvey. If Unai, as we go back to, and this is what I'm going to stick to, if Unai Emery doesn't trust him, then I'm going to have to stick with that. I'm going to have to stick with that because if I can't crash on the gaffer on that sense. So there we go. But yeah, fantastic day today. But here's Unai Emery's quote, by the way. Here's Unai Emery's quote on this. Let me get the Unai Emery quote. So Emery, this is what I'm on about. He took the flat. We started the season very poor and we had doubts. We were not feeling good, confident for different circumstances. How we are reacting, especially against Tottenham City, and the commitment they showed in following the game plan was really fantastic. Look, I love that. Because what Unai has said, he's not bullshitting us. He's not bullshitting us. There were doubts. We started the season very poor and we had doubts. We were not feeling good, confident, and for different circumstances. Do you know what? That's why I love him. Because he's actually not bullshitting us. We were crap, we were poor, and there were doubts even in and amongst the team, the dressing room, the managers, the squad. There were doubts. There were doubts if we could turn this around. There were doubts in the players' mentality. There were doubts from the fan base. That's where I love the gaffer. He's not bullshitting us. He's not trying to put rainbows and unicorns and fluffy things in our eyes to say, do you know what? It's okay. Don't panic. No, this is what I love his comments. But the second part is we're reacting, especially against Tottenham City, and it's the commitment. But look at the key part. In following the game plan. I think now that, again, is another part of Unai Emery saying, do you know what? The lads didn't believe and trust my process or follow my game plan. That's what he's saying. The lads didn't follow my game plan. They were sulking. They were trying to do their own thing. They were moaning. They were egotistical. That's what I think he's saying in black and white. And I don't know if you guys agree or not, but basically that's how I feel he's saying. The lads sulked. Follow my game plan and it works. If you don't follow my game plan, not. Hence why the crashing in on Harvey Elliott, Sunderland away, Harvey Elliott's playing too quickly. Harvey Elliott needs to learn to adapt. Harvey Elliott needs to play my way. Basically, this is why I think Emi Buendia is absolutely like an Unai Emery player, because he's going to follow the system and structure. And so that's how I read it. If you're not going to play my way, you can piss off. If you're going to follow my patterns, and maybe, just maybe, is why Donyell Marlin's struggling. Maybe, how many times have we got, how many times do we say this? That if you're an Unai type of player, you're fit. And Donyell Marlin has just always had Unai having to come out and say the same stuff he's saying about Harvey Elliott right now. He's learning to adapt. He's learning to play. He's learning to do this. You know, that's what he's been doing for Donyell. So we'll see on that. But yeah, fair play, Unai. Not messing around. Whilst I've seen there, another semi-final defeat, but we've got to win the Europa League and keep this Premier League momentum going. Big up Lee as well, and Les on the call duty. And I want to say as well, big up to VJ. He's one of our own. He's one of our own. Vamos, VJ. He's one of our own. Big up to the members, gang. I love it. Absolutely love it. Right, here's another good thing to show you them. I want to find the Pep Guardiola quote if I can, but I don't know where I saw it. You know when you see so much on the timeline. Maybe Towie's got it on Pep, but yeah, the Pep Tanswell on Pep. Is it? Okay, here's yeah. Look at this. Pep Guardiola's seal of approval. I'll show you some of these quotes. Pep Guardiola's seal of approval. Villa are a Champions League team, a top team for many years. They are in a good way. I like that. I like that Pep recognises us a Champions League team. Hence why we've got to go and win this Europa League now. That's no bullshit. We have to go win the Europa League. We can't keep getting told we're a top team, but we've got to now back it with silverware. I think Unai can do this. I like this as well. Another quote from Unai. Bit more on Harvey Elliott coming up as well. Today, 90 minutes was a very good summary of the last 3 years. Confidence in our game plan, commitment in our plan, even not scoring. Watkins and Morgan playing a fantastic game, and we are winning and we are happy. The absolute emphasis on that word game plan. And that's what we've got to look at now. Are the Villa players week in, week out executing his game plan? Right. Here's the Harvey Elliott quotes if you haven't seen them, by the way. Unai Emery on Harvey Elliott. In the squad, we needed one player to take out, but I decided him. I'm happy with him. He's training well. His commitment is fantastic. He's a good guy. It was a tactical decision. I spoke with him about it, and my advice was to keep going. I mean, that's pretty brutal. Like, he says tactical, but if you're a player and you're being told I'm training well, You're committed, fantastic, a good guy, but I'm tactical. You don't want to hear it. You just want to play. And then he said, he's a very good player. Only our demands are at a high level, and some players and how they performed last year and this year are playing the same position. We signed him because I believe in him. He will need time. Do we believe that we're going to see Harvey Elliott, or do you think that's it? In January he'll go back. Like, what are everyone's thoughts on that? By the way, what are everyone's thoughts on on Harvey Elliott? Are we going to see him or not? Are we going to see him or not? Do you think that's true? Do you think he does rate him? Um, yeah, let me get the full Pep Guardiola quote because I really like this one, and I'll come to comments in a second. This Pep Guardiola quote here. They're a Champions League team. They're not in this season, but a top team for many years. It is a tough place. Unai always sets up good things. It's a really good team. I admire them. They do very good things. I know people go, oh, it's only Pep, but I still think Pep is one of the greatest. He appreciates brilliant football when he sees it. And the fact that Unai Emery is getting accolades from him, I know it doesn't matter as much, but I still think for us to get that respect, for us to get heard and been told that we're a top team, that we're Champions League side, that we set up well, I love that. But you know what I'm going to say? We need something to back it up now. Elliot gets time now. Brandy is hurt. Facts. Big up to only got a new I know. Correct. We all know Unai doesn't put players straight in. Yeah, it's just been a long time for Harvey. Big up Albania. Pep gaslighting villains thinking Emery's still good enough. He gaslight. I get it after. I'll get it before, Alf. I'd get it before, but he's gaslit us after. So I do think that was a humble statement. Josh, Unai is open and honest. We've in the past had bullshit man. In my opinion, Unai's the best man. Yeah, he's so honest. I don't think it's possible getting in the top 4 season, but a couple of teams surprised me how average their things are open. Like the fact that Man United have got a resurgence and they look like they were Amaron out. Do you know what I mean? Us and United are very similar, aren't they? Blackham says, yes, I think we'll see him and Unai like Elliott. Yeah. Look, Man United were calling for Amaron out when they lost 3-1 to bloody Brentford at home. All of a sudden, Manchester United have gone and done what they've done, and they're now lingering in the top 4. This football's weird. This Premier League's nuts, and it is, for the first time, really interesting. I don't think there's a runaway leader. I don't think that it's definitely Arsenal's. I don't think it's in there. I don't think it's going to be that plain sailing for them. But the race for Europe is going to be incredible this year again. We're going to be right in amongst it, hopefully. We're going to have a Europa League campaign to back it up. But yeah, it's going to be nuts. Absolutely nuts. But yeah, big up to everyone in chat. Barkley will have his time soon in the starting line. I agree. But yeah, I am going to wrap up now, chat. It was just a quick sort of emergency stream. As I said, trying to get back in the rhythm of the live stream. So thank you to everyone. I know I went absent AWOL for a few weeks on the lives. But yeah, do get those notifications back on. I've got a few new show ideas that I want to try and introduce at some point. But yeah, just thank you for all the support. And as always, if you haven't, if you've got an iPhone, go on the App Store right after the stream. I've got one thing to ask. Go on the App Store after this stream and go and download Big Up for free. So on the App Store, it's very easy and simple to do. Just type in Big Up, BIGUP, Big Up. You'll see a fist emoji a yellow fist in a black background. So yellow fist like that. Go download it, use it for free, and join the AVFTS community. And James has done it. There we go. Absolutely. Yeah, Wolves manager has lost his Everton fans. I saw that. But yeah, I'm going to bow out of here. So thanks very much. Have a good rest of your Sunday. The Villa are back. Emery is proving us, Emery's proven people like me question them to shut up. And I love that. I'll see you all soon. Another show coming up tomorrow. I don't know what it'll be, but if you've got your notification bell on, get in the chat and amongst it, and we'll go from there. I'm out of here. Ta-da.